Okay, everybody. Well, today we have ourselves a pretty rainy Sunday, and I figured it has been a while since I gave you guys a startup of the furnaces. A couple of people did ask me to do one for this year, and we're in. I know we're into December right now, but it's the freest time I had. So basically, yes. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and turn on both furnaces for you. This one here in the attic, and then the other one in the basement. And then, basically it's just some general commentary I make here and there when we do these kinds of videos. You'll notice I have the camera a little bit lower this time and pointing up, so maybe you can see the burners a little bit better. Alright, and then I'll just get them going for you and hope you enjoy. So let's get this one going here for you. And as you can see, starts with no problem as always. Pardon the shadow effect here while I come back up. Yeah. So yeah, both these furnaces are from 2016, so they've pretty much reached the 7-year mark, and they're still doing very well. Now let me go ahead and bring the camera over. Bear with me for a moment. All right. Yeah, you can see, again, sorry for the shadow there, it's just where the light is. Inducer is doing great, sounds very smooth. Burner's lit, no problem. Flame sensor's good, igniter is good. And yeah, everything down here still seems to be very good. Maybe you guys remember back in 2016 or 2017, one of those years, I had commented about how some of these wires weren't tied up properly, and 2 or 3 of them were actually rubbing on this inducer fan right here, and it was getting to the point where the insulation was starting to go away and the bare wire was showing. So I was like, oh yeah, that's nice. So maybe you can kind of see my electrical tape repairs I did like, a few years ago. So yeah, and obviously you can't hear it because of the burners, but for both furnaces, the blower turns on 23 seconds after successful burner ignition. So it is currently running right now. Maybe there's like a little bit of air coming through there. So that's where the condensate drain is. I know there should be air coming through there, but it's such a small amount, I'm not concerned, honestly. But yeah, this thing is doing absolutely fantastic, as you can see. 7 years old and thankfully still doing okay. And it is the single stage furnace, for those of you who don't already know that. Yeah, doing great. Alright, so now let's go ahead and we will head down to the basement, and we shall continue the same thing from down there. And here we are down in the basement for the first floor furnace. So like before in the attic, we'll go ahead and get this going, and then I'll just give you some, usual commentary here and there like I did above. All right, so let's go ahead and get this going. There we go. Working perfectly. Alright, let me go ahead and bring the camera over. Yep, so you can see it right there. The inducer's going nicely. Burners are a nice steady blue. Again, this is coming up brighter than it is on the camera than it is in person. So, but the burners are a nice steady blue, which is great. Things are going in nicely. And everything's dry down here, which is very good. So definitely happy to see that. And yeah, so some of you remember in 2019 we had the disconnect switch replaced because of a bad connection, and that replacement is still working. So that's definitely good. And insulation on top. There's the intake pipe for when the cover's on. But yeah, this thing is doing absolutely fantastic. 7 years old and thankfully still working. So here's to hoping it keeps up. Now, I did on the whole house humidifier, I did replace the pad in it. You may notice I have some foil tape on here. The reason I do that is because for some reason this thing that the pad is attached to loves to slide out every now and then. So the foil tape here keeps it in place like it should. I probably used more than I had to, but you know, whatever. And the way I do this is, diverter valve is open like it should be for heating season. I basically replace, I work on this whole house humidifier every time I change the filter for the season. Like, you know, this house isn't all that bad with dirty air filters, so basically I change the filter each season change, you know what I'm saying? Now for me that works fine, for you it might be different, but you can give that a try and see if it works. Now what I do is, when we go to air conditioning season, I of course close this. And I also take the pad itself out and just leave it out because, I mean, if you're not going to be using it during air conditioning season, why keep a dirty pad in there? You know what I'm saying? There's no reason to keep a pad in there if you're not using it. And then when heating season comes back around again, I put a whole new pad in there, open this up and set the humidistat, and then get it going if it needs to go. You can see, though, I have it turned off currently because it really hasn't been all too cold or too dry out. So let me go ahead and see what I have it set to. Yeah, 35. You can see the humidity is 44. So I'm just leaving it off for now. You know, I figured why not? Couldn't hurt. And there's the water line for it right there. Oh, here's the pad for it, by the way. Let me go ahead and get this out here. This is the pad that it uses for. Sorry for that light glare. Let me fix that. There we go. This is the pad that we use for the whole house humidifier. And like I said, I take it out every air conditioning season and put a new one in every heating season. I figure that's the best way to go about it. And that white vinegar you see there is for the condensate pump. I run that through there every now and then because of, you know, to keep all the sliminess and such to a minimum, which hopefully it works. And of course got a CO detector there as well. And the replacement air filter. And yeah, so right now everything's doing great. Oh, in case you're wondering, at the end of air conditioning season, the refrigerant pressure was still good, which I'm very happy about. So, you know, once this heating season goes through and it goes back to being warm out again, we'll see how that is. But for the rest of the season, ever since the guy worked on it, the refrigerant pressures were good, no ice, and the vent temperatures were fantastic. So here's to hoping when we go to the next season, things are still as good. We shall see when we get to it. All right, that's basically it, everyone. So here we are in heating season once again. Both furnaces doing great, and very glad that we have the ones that we do. And there's the cover, by the way, in case you were curious. So yeah, here's to hoping if we get some very cold winters, these things will keep the house nice and warm, like they have for a few years now. And very happy about that. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.